Welcome back to Real Stories, Jennifer Lopez, the life of one of our favourite pop icons, told through the stories of people that have known her, loved her and bought leather outer garments with her. Joining me in the cafe with their expert opinion and their million-dollar smiles, from The Sun, Gordon Smart and More Magazine's Abby Pethelus. So, you've missed Jennifer, the dancing teen with the boy short hair. You've missed Jennifer, the cat, and her old partners in crime describing her love of the treadmill. But that's only the tip of this Latina iceberg. Still to come, Hollywood A-listers, white weddings, and million-dollar paychecks. Next up, it's time for our backing dancer to become a leading lady. After 3 years on In Living Colour, Jen was getting plenty of high-profile dancing work for the biggest stars of the time, including New Kids on the Block and this Janet Jackson video. But after years of wowing audiences with her moves, Jen decided it was time for the world to hear her voice.
Jenny, listen to us when we're talking to you.
And it was LA casting director Kim Hardin that gave her her first chance.
The producers had asked me to see a number of Latino girls, which is normal for any casting process for the series. And there was a checkout girl role. And the producers and I kind of watched Jennifer do this special for Fly Girls. And after auditioning a lot of girls, the producers came to me and said, you know, did you find anybody you really like, or what do you think about the Latina girl that's on In Living Colour? And I said, you know, she's got a little sass to her. I mean, I like her.
South Central was the first of several small TV roles for Jen, including this early screen kiss in Second Chances.
My father told me about men like you.
Well, my father never told me about women like you.
It wasn't long before her talents were noticed by the film industry, and she hit the big screen as Wesley Snipes' hard-hitting love interest in Money Train. Then, after trying to save Ice Cube from a giant snake in Anaconda, Jen was well on her way in the movie game. Did you see that snake? Surely one of the most... I'm excited. Surely one of the most realistic Hollywood monsters in history. Although, still not a patch on Mothra, Godzilla's nemesis. You know, the one, a giant moth with eyes like Bono sunglasses. And boy, could he do some damage to a jumper. Truly scary. So, Abby, we know that J.Lo has put the hours in here to become a big star. Do you think that reflects on the fact that, how can I put this politely, she's such a diva?
I think fair play to her, to be honest. I mean, she has worked her way up from the bottom to be where she is today, and she works hard. She's always around the world promoting things, and if she's got 1 hour to spend in a dressing room, why shouldn't she have 5,000 candles and white towels in there?
Gordon, let me come to you here. Now, there's candles is one thing, lavender-smelling stuff something else, but there's stories of not being able to look her in the eye. What are the kind of some of diva stories you've heard about, J.Lo?
Like you, she has a sort of lighting expert that insists the room's lit in a certain way.
If you could.
She was one of the first, I think, of her generation to have that massive entourage as well. 3 PAs, hair and makeup, like, and all that carry on. But the looking in the eye thing's true.
And also, her manager, Benny Medina, he's a bit of a diva, and I think a lot of the asks and the wants in the rider and things comes from him.
For the next chapter in Jen's story, we got a bona fide Hollywood actress meeting a Cuban male model in a Miami-based cocktail bar. And boom, it's love at first sight. It's 1995 and Jen is becoming a recognisable face in Hollywood, starring opposite Sean Penn in U-Turn and Jack Nicholson in Blood and Wine. But for one way to work in Gloria Estefan's bar in Miami, she could be anybody.
And it was so funny because she walked in, I had no idea who she is. And she was standing there with her friend, and she goes, I'm hungry. I'm like, here. So I gave her the French fries. Her friend asked me, what's your name? And I said, well, you know, honey. And she goes, why are you not laughing? Why are you not smiling? I'm like, because I'm working, I'm busy. I don't want to be like, you know, flirting when I have my boss, you know, behind me and I don't want to get fired. Her friend came up to me and said, hey, listen, we gotta go to this, you know, party. We would like you to come. She called me at work and we made some plans. They picked me up. From that point on, boom, it was like, love of, you know, the first sight.
Confident in her career and now happily in a relationship, Jen was ready to make the move from supporting actress to leading lady. Beating off 11,000 hopefuls for the title role in Selena, she got the high-profile part she'd longed for.
This is pretty big. I didn't expect it to be so big. I'm really pleased that the fans came out and supported, but in my mind, when I think about it, it's par for course when it comes to Selena's fans. They always come out and support.
Selena made Jen the first Latina actress to earn $1 million, and there was only one thing left to make life complete for this 27-year-old starlet.
She always wanted to be married. She always wanted family. She was not the type of person, you know, that messed around a whole lot or anything. She wanted to be married and she wanted to have her career.
And when she least expected it, Ohani proposed at the Selena rap party.
It was actually in the Hard Rock Cafe in San Antonio. 300 people, the whole, director, the crew, everybody was there. And, Selena's sister, Suzanne, was sitting at the table. So I told Suzanne, I got a proposal. I got the ring in my pocket. She's like, no. And she was like, let's do it. I'm like, yeah, I gotta do it. So the DJ stopped the music and he hands me the mic. So I got the mic. I was like, Jennifer, she's standing right next to me. She's like, what are you doing? You acting weird. I'm like, relax. So I got the mic. I was like, Jennifer, will you marry me? And everybody went down. Everybody was clapping, crying, crazy. She was starting crying. She was happy. She was shaking. Hug her and kiss her, and then boom, that's it.
So Jennifer Lopez has it all, right? The $1 million contract, the Cuban model husband, and a successful acting career. Wrong. One night on the way home from set with Ohani, she announced there was another itch she needed to scratch.
We were driving home, and when we got to the hotel, to the apartment, she was like, oh my God, I just realized it's inside of me. I wanted to sing, I wanted to do it. I was like, you know what? Do it. Let's do it.
Madonna, Madonna, Madonna. I have a feeling you may have to eat some of those perfectly chosen words for the end of the show. She wasn't one to fool around. I think we'll be the judge of that. In the meantime, Abby, what is a Hollywood actress, a beautiful superstar, doing marrying a waiter, even if he is a Cuban supermodel?
Bless him, he served a purpose, didn't he? I mean, she, for the time being, for the 13 months or whatever it was, I mean, she made no secret of the fact that she wanted to get married and settle down, and there he was, she liked the look of him, he adored her, and it was kind of easy. She didn't really have to do anything. He was happy to follow her around, and she could get on with being a star and concentrating on her career, and he didn't take any of the spotlight away from her, and she could just be Jennifer.
Has a lopsided kind of celebrity-wise marriage or relationship, do they ever work, Gordon?
I could sit here all day and tell you about relationships that hadn't, but the one I can think of is Sir Elton John and David Furnish.
OK. I suppose he's one of the biggest stars in the world, and Elton John just knocks a tune out every now and again.
Amongst other things.
Now, like a sultan in his palace, one Sean Puffy Diddy, P. Diddy, Puffy Daddy, delete his appropriate combs, a purveyor of all things hip-hop, was looking for a cinnamon-tanned beauty for his latest venture, and it looked like Jen was firmly on his radar.
We had this idea for to sort of do this kind of like Raiders of the Lost Ark type of story, and the idea was to have one of the most beautiful girls, like a princess type character. And at the time, this movie U-Turn came out, and she looked crazy. She was just beautiful. And Puff was like, oh man, we got to get that girl. She came in immediately. They just started doing this salsa dance. And their sort of dynamic, the chemistry, from that moment on, kind of sparked. It was like this challenge.
The next challenge for Jen would be a role in Out of Sight with George Clooney, but it wouldn't be long before she'd see Puffy again. And as she signed a record deal with Sony and hit magazine covers around the world, her marriage to Ohani had become impossible. Puffy was the new man on the scene. Poor Ohani, I really thought that one was going to last. Nice guy, meets career-hungry Hollywood starlet and proposes at a rap party. It sounds like a recipe for a marriage made in heaven. Now, Abby, quote-unquote, because Ohani was going to be in the background, Jennifer could concentrate on being a star. That's what you just said.
I did.
And people can rewind this and notice that you said that. So why has she packed him in?
Well, she's traded him in for a better model. I mean, like you say, she puts her career first.
Charming.
She's putting her career first, and if she wants to break into the music hip-hop scene, what better way to do it than hook up with Mr. Hip-Hop, P. Diddy? Also, he can say, I can make you famous. I can make you a star. And I bet he did.
Does he spoon her at night? Is he ever the big spoon? I don't think Diddy's that man. What's your favourite Puffy story, Gordon?
Well, I've got a good friend in the south of France, and he came down and rented a yacht down there, and there was a big party, loads of girls in bikinis, all the rest of it, stayed up all night, and about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, he came out, switched the music off, stood up on the table and just said, I am God.
Oh, no, he didn't. No. Please tell me that's not true.
She was there. Wow, OK, on that note, as we leave Jen at the end of part 2, she's moved firmly into focus as a leading lady. She's burned through one marriage, and it looks like Puffy's about to turn her world upside down. Coming up next, Jen's career goes stratospheric, and she makes a pretty big impression on one person in particular.
Whoa. Didn't know Jennifer Lopez before, want her on my wall now.
See you in a few minutes for more Real Stories.